Hey, it's Anna, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a review of Circe by Madeline Miller. It's a historical fiction, fantasy, mythology retelling. So yeah, let's just get into it. So Circe is the daughter of the Titan Helios, embodiment of the sun, and a water nymph who is herself the daughter of the Titan Oceanus. From birth, she wasn't like the other gods. Her voice was thin and screechy, and she was not at all beautiful. As a result, she was scorned and snubbed by her kin and became increasingly isolated. She eventually seeks out the companionship of a mortal. She falls in love with a human and eventually casts a dark spell that marks her as a witch and a threat to the gods. As a result, Zeus exiles her to a deserted island to live out the rest of her days. But her island does not remain deserted forever. Gods, demigods, and mortals all make their way to Aiaia's shores, and Circe plays a role in many well-known stories. Alright, so firstly, the cover is gorgeous, and it's full of subtle symbolism from the book, which is cool. I really wish I had a physical copy. It's, yeah, strongly considering actually getting one. I've always loved mythology, and when I was younger I read the only book about Greek mythology we had in our house until it broke in half. I was that obsessed with it. I never actually knew the story of Circe. It was really difficult not to Google her before and while I was reading this book, but I wanted to be surprised, and surprised I was. Circe is a fascinating character, especially as rendered by Madeline Miller. I think what makes her so interesting is her humanity, despite her very divine pedigree. She experiences like the whole spectrum of human emotions, something that most of the other immortals don't understand and will never experience. I really liked the writing style, and I thought the plot unfolded really naturally. And now that I've done some research, I know that there was a bit of poetic license taken, but since Circe's story is usually peripheral, like in the Odyssey she's a side character to Odysseus, yeah, so there was room to sort of speculate and fill in the gaps of her story. So yeah, it was amazing. It follows her from birth to when she's over 1,000 years old, and along the way she has met some of the greats. She's, the daughter of Helios, granddaughter of the Titan Oceanus. Her sister is Pasiphae, who married King Minos, and she also gave birth to the Minotaur, as well as Ariadne, who helped, was it Theseus, I think, defeat the Minotaur. She is also the sister of Aeetes, and therefore the aunt of Medea, who was herself also a witch, and who helped Jason steal the Golden Fleece. She also meets Odysseus, Hermes, the messenger god, Apollo, and Athena as well, though they don't get along. And yeah, it's like a who's who of Greek gods and demigods and heroes. It's awesome. I was like, I know that one. Underlying it all were themes of women and power, which are still relevant today. When she was in her father's halls, Circe had no power, so she was essentially cast aside. when she was exiled, she was an acceptable loss for her father, Helios. All her life she's been at the mercy of other people's power, and eventually she retakes that power back. And it's not just through her sorcery and her knowledge of plants and herbs. It's an emotional, take charge of your own destiny sort of power. It's her deciding, I'm not going to be a victim anymore. I'm not going to be what everybody else tells me to be. I'm not going to just let things happen to me. I'm going to take charge of my own life. I'm responsible for the things that I have done, and I won't shy away from that. It's a very powerful book, and I was just super impressed with the way Madeline Miller handled everything, like the plot, the characters, the world building. It was amazing. So to sum it all up, I really loved this book. I loved Circe. I loved the way Madeline Miller brought her to life. So I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I would recommend it for anybody interested in mythology and retellings. Anybody who's interested in strong female characters as well. For me, it's just one of those books I want to recommend to everybody. I want to just like buy copies and shove them in people's faces and go, read this. So, yeah, that might give some indication of how I feel about it. And yeah, I probably will be buying a hard copy to go on my very full bookshelf. So yeah, if you like the video, click like, subscribe below. If you want notifications for all my new videos, click the little bell. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again. Bye.